Tribe, welcome you all in. So the title of this missive is going to be Scenarios of Perception. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you subscribe here, like here, share here. It's what we do here. Title of this missive is going to be Scenarios of Perception. Hello, 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 hello. It's cleansing my energy out. Shaking the wiggles off a little bit. How's everyone doing? If you're new here, the title of this missive is going to be Scenarios of Perception. So here we deal with a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so it's information here is valuable, particularly if you are a person that's looking toward the path of your higher self, your higher calling. This is what we do here. We urge people to embrace their calling, whatever your calling may be. Ooh, okay, y'all. So I'm going to disconnect this mic. Okay, tribe. How's everyone doing? Like I said, I pray everyone is having a wonderful day, eventful, fruitful, as I always say. We're going to be tapping in and we're going to be talking about scenarios of perception. I have my Akashic Oracle record deck, Oracle cards, I'm sorry, my Akashic Oracles So I'm going to be pulling some messages from there. But I also have some downloads that I wrote down. And it's scenarios of perception. So it could be valuable information. First of all, I do want to start off by saying numbers lie, energy doesn't. You know, I know a lot of us, we heard the phrase men lie, numbers don't. Okay, well, this is a new one for you. Numbers will lie, energy won't. So, and this could go for you. You know, if you're not gifted, this is probably not the channel for you. This is for people who are very much gifted and very much coming into the awareness of their gifts. So when you're dealing with numbers, don't look for people, right? Because you could be affecting way more people than your energy is reflecting. Reason being, when you're a person that carry a righteous deed on your life and, you know, you're going to do something, you're going to come into contact with a lot of people. They're not going to want to assist you to your elevated point because they're going to clearly see that where you're headed is beyond them. So when it comes to that, you can't look for numbers and people because numbers will have a tendency to lie, right? Meaning, say you speak a word and it affects 10 people. Well, you could have 7 of those 10 people, and out of that 7, they may not necessarily agree with you or whatever, but they won't admit that the word affected them. So the numbers will reflect that it didn't. So you got to really just pay attention to energy. Okay, energy don't lie. And as we're going to hop into the scenarios, but I do want to say the second download. I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. They will never give in at the point of subjugation. The spirit driving them just wants to impact more lives and get more people to lie and agree. So when a person is effectively subjugated by a certain type of spirit, okay, I'm not going to put a label on it, but it is what it is. If a person is subjugated and being driven by a spirit and you feel like this person is against you, you can't look for like mercy from this person. You can't look for a place where this person may reason with you. They far gone beyond that. When a person is subjugated to a spirit that's driving them, they don't even know why they do what they do anymore. They just driven. So, and you have to understand that the spirit that they allow to drive them, it wants to impact others. So this is where you get, you know how you feel the energy of, why this person acting funny all of a sudden? They must have been talking to so-and-so. Okay, I get it. That's very much a real energy. Don't forsake your intuition when you feel that way. That's exactly what you read. But what you're not understanding is this. This type of energy doesn't stop. It doesn't know how to stop. It's a subjugated energy. So anybody that's in agreement with it, it will siphon their energy. Next thing you know, and I speak to somebody because you could be trying to fight 5 different people and they all under the same spirit. You got to realize it's a spirit. It's a bigger influence than the person that's at work. So it's driven. When people get like that towards you, understand what it is and just don't look for nothing much more than what it really is, because what it is what they show you, okay? Like if a person's subjugated and they want to be driven by the demonic and you're expecting a change out of them, then you taking matters into your own hand. But I'm here to tell you, in spirit as well, when a person is subjugated, they're not looking to make reason with you. They're looking to impact you. All right. So moving into scenarios of perception. Scenarios of perception. Man, this was a good download, and it came in like 5 parts. All right. So the first scenario is the perception of 2 men at the door, right? And in this scenario, I'm going to show you how we really react and we really miss the mark in a lot of ways. A man shows up to your door with a sweepstakes, right? Your name was drawn, honestly. $20,000 sweepstake. Now he shows up to your home, but he has on urban gear. He has a mouthful of gold teeth, so to speak. And maybe he just looks a certain type of way. So when you look out the door, chances are
I know even me, I'm going to be alarmed. Like, what is this person with a bandana tied around their head and gold teeth? And he may say, I got a sweepstakes. You a winner. I need you to open the door to sign for it, right? The first thing we do is, I don't know about that. I don't know about opening that door, right? Now, we learn about opening the door. To sign for a sweepstake that honestly belong to us is money that's given by the universe. We're not so fast to receive that, right? Now, in the same token, a man knocks on the door with a suit. He very clean. He has nothing to offer. He just wants to get in your house. He knocks, he presents himself. Hey, I have a sweepstakes I need for you to sign. How willingly will we open up the door? But see, the thing I get to know about this is when we put in compromising situations, it's because of our perception of others a lot of time. Meaning, somebody come to you, you perceive them to be a certain way. They don't turn out that way. It's not that person's fault. It's our fault because we caught in a scenario of perception. It's like you perceive a thing. I believe it's time for us to take time to look beyond our perception now, to really begin to believe and understand, well, okay, my perception have been shaped wrong and been molded wrong. Maybe I see wrong in certain areas. Maybe I'm looking at, because remember, in the scenario I just gave, you open the door for a predator who look clean, but you leave the door closed for a blessing because of the way it looked. That's the way we do. Scenarios of perception. Okay, number two, second scenario of perception. A person is wronging you, perhaps, every time you get paid. But when you rewind the tape, you give them the money to do it. So who's the victim? Scenarios of perception. You a person, maybe. Every time you get paid, maybe as a person that's in your life or has been in your life. This could be past, present, or future. Now, when you get paid, they come around. You give them money. They don't do what you really need them to do for you. They do what they want to do with the money. But in this perception, we perceive ourselves as a victim, right? Not an enabler. We are enabling, not to mention, but it's more sinister on our behalf. Let me tell you why. If you know a person has an affliction, right, or they have a sickness, and you continue to feed that sickness all due to personal gain, that becomes more sinister. But our perception is wrong. Because see, if you work and you get your check and you give somebody money and they go off and disturb your peace, you're not a victim. You become the culprit. You have to change your perception, because imagine how the person is feeling all the way up until the check comes. They under all type of scrutiny. They got things they want to do. They repressed. They are codependent. They attached. They bound to you. But in your mind, it's okay. I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna give them money. I'm gonna make everything. But you're not making it better for them in their world. It's just your scenario of perception is this, and this is what we live in. This is what we got to break out of. We live inside a mirage of scenarios of our own perceptions. It's not always real. Most of the time, it requires a deeper level of thought. You know what we should practice? Thank you, Spirit. The art of detachment, in a way that we can look at ourselves in scenarios where we come out of it and be like, okay, I'm not going to detach and look. I'm going to detach. I'm going to leave me there and detach. I'm going to look at even me in the scenario, right? That's a fervent type of looking. So we really need to seek that out instead of our scenario of perception, because we get trapped in it, right? Number three, third scenario of perception. That's what we're working on. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Would appreciate it. Nevertheless, three, we discipline the children in hopes that they won't go through the hardships that we went through. But we fail to discipline ourselves in their eyes. And unintentionally, we introduce them to undisciplined authority, urging them to become versions of us. Scenario of perception. Look at how wrong we look at it. We'll tell a kid, go clean up your room, right? And I'm learning this, so everybody should be learning. But we won't clean up, or we'll say, don't do that, but we'll do it. What we say is, in our scenario of perception, we think that if we clamp down on a child, we keep the child from doing what we did. What we don't realize is, first of all, it's even more sinister because we introduce them to an undisciplined authority, meaning do as I say, not as I do, right? And when we introduce them to that, they'll abide by it until they big enough not to. And then they introduce their offspring to the same type of authority. This is what we do. This is what generational curses are. They consist of this type of issue, right? Unintentionally, we introduce them to undisciplined authority. What we don't realize in our scenario of perception, and a lot of us don't want to embrace, is that the best way to teach a child to avoid your hardships is to begin to avoid the hardships in their presence. Then they'll understand the dynamic of action and movement, right? And motion towards positive energy. You can't never teach a child to do as you say, because the child is automatically going to program itself to do what you do. And that's what we don't realize. We don't pick it up. Generation after generation, we do it. I've done it. So I'm sure that we all do it. We tell the kids, do as I say, not as I do, not realizing they're going to do as we do. It's a scenario of perception. And it's some of the things that I feel Spirit is wanting us to look at deeper and begin to move away from. Like slight adjustments, children notice it. Like if you're striving to be better and you telling them to strive to be better, then they can begin to look at it as a team effort in the home. But if you telling them to do something and you're not doing it, they're going to begin to resent you for telling them after a while. They're going to become you, okay? Fourth scenario of perception. When anxiety comes, we perceive that it has the strength to affect our reality by changing our energy. But we can also adjust our energy in perceiving anxiety. As in, we can use the energy of sidestepping or invoking positive energy through actions and movement. And that's a real deep download, because anxiety is related to a demon. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to give no glory right now to the demonic. And I don't want to get people into that religious mind state. But just know, anxiety is an authority. It comes by way of an attack. Okay. So if you've ever been under attack by black magic, witchcraft, any kind of magic out there, one of the things that will attack you is anxiety. It will come. It will come in many different forms and ways, right? Because you got a lot of demonic things that's attached to anxiety. So what happens is when anxiety comes, our perception is like, oh boy, here it come. I'm ready to go home now. Like, I'm ready to bail out now. I'm ready to curl up now. I'm ready to get some rest now. I'm ready to procrastinate now. I'm ready to, and the most famous form of anxiety on a minute scale is, I'm ready to do it later now. Something that you can do now, you opt to do later. That's the onset sometimes of anxiety. And when it comes on, we begin to perceive that this feeling has the ability to change our reality by switching our energy around. So we automatically receive it as a worthy adversary, anxiety. But Spirit says another option is available. we can really take on the energy of when anxiety come up. Boy, let me go outside and take a walk real quick. Anxiety rate sitting up. Boy, let me write something down. Anxiety coming up. But you gotta be, it's like when the kingdom suffer violence, the righteous wax violent, take it by force. That's the same way this kind of energy is, y'all. It's like when anxiety come, it's not a formidable opponent. It's not something that has the strength to change your energy. It's something that needs you to feed into it. In order for anxiety to reach levels in you and your energetic auric field, it needs you to respond. Every time you respond to anxiety, it responds stronger back to you. With each response, it comes an oncoming response in regards to anxiety. It thrives off our responses because it doesn't have a source. It's coming from the demonic anxiety. It has to latch on. So we can take on the energy of sidestepping it, but it takes effort and it takes action and movement, if not physical, spiritual, or mental. See, you can't sit there and let anxiety set in. When it comes, call somebody that you can trust. When it comes, make a sound, right? They say a sound precedes the move of God. Anxiety comes, right? You'd be surprised because it takes movement and it takes action in order for you to combat anxiety. But our scenario of perception is that when it comes, oh boy, I'm about to have to go through this for a couple days or a couple hours, or I need time to process this. No, that's allowing it to grow. Dwelling in thoughts of past experiences. When you know that anxiety is your battle, dwelling in those areas is dangerous for your mind because it induces anxiety. Like, don't dwell on things that hurt you. Even if you got to push it in the back of your mind and occupy yourself will give you time to process it. But you have to motivate yourself to fight against it because anxiety will sit there and eat on you and fester on you and feed on you until it manifests in your lower extremities as an entity. Is what it wants to do. All of these things that come, they want to take possession and subjugation of your vessel because they was denied mortal bodies. All forms of these type of energies, they forbidden to live in your human experience. And when you allow them to live inside of your human experience, it begins to break down your chakra systems, like your bowels, your intestines, your kidneys, your crown, your feet, your sacral, your heart. Begin to grab hold to a greater energy. Okay, the last scenario of perception, this one is love. Like, somebody should hear this one. This one was when I was channeling this, and it hit me as I was writing it, because I write kind of fast when I'm channeling, right? I really do write quick, like, but when I was channeling this last one, and I got through with it, I looked at it and I gained so much from it. All right, so here we go. Scenario of perception. Okay. Let's say you're working on a project and you need a tool. This particular tool that you need is in a dark room full of sharp objects, but you need this tool. So 3 options you can take. You can try your hand in the dark room full of sharp objects and you might poke yourself. You could look for something to light the room and make your way around in the light, or you could do nothing at all and say it's just too dark to go in there. This is speaking about areas of self. right? Inside the darkness that we hold, it's a part of our evaluation of self. So, some of those dark areas that's within us, they are in rooms that contain sharp objects, meaning some of the dark areas, when you think and reflect on them in you, they can bring you pain. They can bring you the trauma of pain, right? So going around in dark rooms inside yourself full of sharp objects is probably not wise. Now, the second option, get a light and light the room. The same way with ourselves. What am I saying? Scenario of perception. You have darkness that you need to look into, but you need to grab hold to a source of light that can guide you through the darkness. It's called like hermit kind of energy. Like, why go in a dark room that's full of sharp objects and look for a tool? You got to feel around in it. That's us inside of ourselves. So when we begin to go into ourselves, grab hold to something that lights you. It could be a person, a place, a thing, a hobby, your calling, your purpose, anything that illuminates the darkness with a lightness in you. This is how we perform alchemy, like my shirt say, right? Alchemizing from within, taking energy that's in you that's dark, even meant for darkness, right? And going and shining a light on it. And then you're able to transmute it. And when it comes back out of you, it reaches into dark areas, but it's a lamp. It's a light unto a path. When you do that, when you're able to illuminate the dark areas in you, what comes out of you is illumination for others that stand in a similar darkness. Understand energy. That's energy. Nobody has a say-so in these matters. These are the laws by which we live and abide by. It's the truth. If I go inside of me and I turn a light on in a dark spot, what's going to come out of me is lightness for people in those same dark areas. There's a relativity. You know, that's my prayer, y'all. Just to let y'all in, one of my favorite self-made prayers is I ask God to hold me in the lightness, but allow me to be relative to the darkness as I need to be. Because people stand in darkness, sometimes triple stages. So if you've ever been to a triple stage of darkness, it's your duty to illuminate yourself. You can be effective, most effective, in the minds and the hearts of those. That's where the energy lies. See, I could learn about a person from a textbook. That's not based upon energy. That's based upon theory. And that's what's wrong with the world now. We deal with so much textbook information that everybody looking for something that's based on a theory, right? And it reminds me when I think about that of all these textbooks about the beginning of mankind until they found that woman that was millions of years old, her bone. It was so much controversy that they just discarded the information. Now you gotta go look for it. But it was one skeleton that they found that refuted every history book that they wrote, right? So, begin to shine a light on the dark areas of yourself. Is gonna make you more effective in your purpose. Or people that stand in the darkness that you came from. We all came from some type of darkness, I'm sure. I mean, if you didn't or you haven't experienced any form of darkness, it would have to make me question your testimony, you know, because those are the places where testimonies are built and forged. All right, so before we step low, I'm gonna hop into this oracle deck. I've been really digging this energy lately. Okay. What we got? Opportunity. Opportunity always comes to those who are prepared. Always be prepared. And when the opportunity comes, be brave enough to grab it, and it will open up new possibilities. Now, this speaks of opportunity. So don't miss yours. Like, I feel Spirit is wanting us to live our life in such a way where we prepare for what comes next, right? If you putting the work in and you know you're working on yourself, it's not about what it looks like. Release, right? As I was saying, you're being asked to release any toxic people or situations from your life. You deserve to be free of all drama. And this is the first step to achieving that. Release, right? This could also be releasing your need to have control over things and really, really understanding that higher forces are at work in your life. It's hard to grasp that sometimes because we're so used to our own understanding. Them times we avoid them car crashes, you know, when we think that we was quick enough on the wheel just to bob and swerve, those be the higher forces that's at work in life. Skills and talents. Everyone has unique skills and talents, right? Discover where you shine and work to improve. So I feel like it's a need for you, if you are a person that's in the evaluation of yourself, you could be moving in various gifts, right? Maybe it's a need for you to identify your skills and your talents as far as spiritually. Like, I feel like somebody has spiritual gifts and you're really not sure where you fit in at. Well, study is going to be required. A lot of prayer and meditation, and maybe somebody that you can talk to, you can conversate with. You know, somebody that can help you assess what skills and talents that you have. See, I see a child on here, like a childlike energy that's really not in tune with what's going on with you. Like, you know, it get rough when you come through like that sometimes. Taking action. Time to implement long cherished ideas. You're on the right track toward making your dreams and visions a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are being sent your way. Happiness and new opportunities are ahead. So this is a matter of belief and taking action and having faith in the fact that these things are indeed coming your way. I know sometimes they get hard to see and they get hard to believe, but you know, I would really grab for the opportunity to experience joy. What makes you feel joy? Because joy is a good filler up. Like, you know, when you can become joyous, it fills you up, particularly when you're in the energy of manifesting and you waiting on something or things may not be going the way you want. Joy, right? Somebody's name could be joy. Joy could be significant. Deception. You're not seeing the entire picture of a person or a situation. It may be purposely withheld from you. Or you may be choosing to look the other way or betray yourself in some way. It's time to gain clarity. So that could be you, viewer. Like, it could be a need for you to not fall into the deceiving of yourself. Make sure you're looking at the entire picture of a person, a place, or a thing, even yourself. Are you deceiving yourself in this energy? Like, what are you really working towards? Is it going to benefit you, or in the long run, is it going to leave you feeling depleted and or drained? Because that's a form of deception. Like, sometimes we stay in it with people, or we stay in places, or we stay in things, and we become a self-sacrifice in this energy by way of deceiving ourselves. Like, you got to make sure you working for what's working for you in this energy. It's time to gain some type of clarity. And also, don't allow people to deceive you into moving forward against other people in this energy, because we live in a day and time, y'all, where people will look at you and they'll see you have a power on you, and what they'll do is they'll try to really influence you to do something that's going, spare them karma and bring it to you, essentially misusing your power by way of deception. Like somebody can go over there and say, I don't like that person over there, and you shouldn't like them either. And this is why you shouldn't like them. And if you let that seed set in, eventually it turns to, okay, let's attack that person over there. And by you allowing the seed to germinate in you, now you're willing to attack an innocent person simply being under the energy of a certain deception. That's why it says we got to look at the entire picture. Like, particularly, why do people need us around them? As a divine seed, always be aware of when somebody needs you around them. And what do they need you around them for? Is it your resources? Is it your energy? Is it your auric field? Is it your encouragement? Spread some fresh air or call some of your pals over. Take a look around you. There's so much natural beauty waiting to be discovered. Either you will soon become involved in an exciting new project or you will go out on a date. This card came out the last 3 times I used these cards. This card has came out. Spread. So it's a need for somebody kind of like to let go of a certain pent up energy you may have, right? I'm really feeling frustration, if I be honest. Like somebody maybe you need to express how you feel for real. Because you could be living in an energy where you forcing yourself to be happy and content with something. And that may not be it. That's self-deception. It comes out, a spread. And when you live with these kind of energies and you're not able to balance them and sort them, sometimes it can lead to an explosion where you lash out. You could become destructive in that kind of energy because it's frustration at the end of the day. It's not you being allowed to be who you are. And it's not the same energy as you being molded and, you having growing pains and all of that, or somebody that's advising you to do right. And, it's not that kind of energy. This is when when you in a place where you are faking your happiness, you faking your acceleration. It's going to lead you to a place where you're going to want to bust loose. That's why Spirit is saying spread. Right? Okay. Peaceful. Applying honesty and light daily is a fast track to creating peaceful and a meaningful life. It's how you find solutions and comfort. Release worries by speaking your truth and expressing emotions regularly. Open up for the best is yet to come. So what the same cards keep coming out. With peace, let me see something. Literally, the same cards coming out. Peaceful, praise others. Spiritual awakening. So I feel like even in this energy, Spirit is calling you to maybe look towards people that you overlook and your new journey, or the way you may be feeling this newness about life. Maybe it's people that you feel like you can just avoid them and you don't have to deal with them, but Spirit says you do. Praise others, like you have to begin to actually inform people, confirm people, Spirit says. Because confirmation is needed throughout the collective. Like, there's too many people looking at one another with speculation or scrutiny, or they don't do this that way or they don't do that, not really realizing we all are given a collective energy, and it's more potent when everybody can learn to really receive everybody on a collective level. Everybody is not where everybody else is, period. Some people live spiritual on and they in one aspect of a journey that may not end for 3 lifetimes, right? All lifetimes being lived simultaneously anyway. That's why when one soul depart, another soul come in. So it's all about ascension and praising others. It opens up the collective conscious. Like, when you can praise, because see, energy is very collective. And when it's enough people in a collective energy of people who tapped in, when they choose a negative element, everybody leans towards that same element because it's that kind of energy. And some people, let's just be honest, they're not balanced enough to really know their own way. So they'll even read, they'll read with the spirits. They'll read with baneful spirits because they don't know the difference. That's why you have so many collective readers on here as well as other sites. They have tremendous numbers, but they all reflect the same spirit of the same energy. It's a willingness to do that. But the danger in that is that it derails people when they first come into their spirituality. They come in under baneful direction, and sometimes it's not good, right? Spiritual awakening is out here, right? So I feel like, it's time to confirm one another, right? Spiritual awakening is occurring. Right, wrong, good, ugly, willfully, unwillfully, because it's the time that we live in, y'all. It's the age of Aquarius. So whether you want to say good morning or say grand rising, and I say this because I'm representing 2 aspects of persona. Some people detest grand rising, some people detest good morning, but it's really a time for people to look and see the energy balance of both of them. We live in a world that is spiritual now. You can't say that ain't working or that don't work. You don't know what worked for nobody. Why? Because many spirits have been awakened. People awaken on many different levels. And I want you to understand, for all of my high-tech spiritualists out there and magicians, it doesn't matter that you practice something longer than a person. That person's will can simply be stronger than yours. So we have to begin to factor in our spiritual awakenings, and we have to show people the strength of their will, not the ability to go trap themselves and bind themselves to higher forms of lower vibrational energies to get things, or to manifest tricks and abundance and illusions and gold and all of that. It comes in a natural, wholesome way. And it doesn't require you to make agreements that affect your life and others and your bloodline. Awakening to spirit is also awakening to the strength in your will and what your will is connected to. Spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening, y'all. Like real live spiritual awakening. Not nothing that's mysterious, or not nothing that's animated, not something that's very real that we need to really learn how to embrace. Is that, look, this world is a spiritual algorithm. Now, one great big old one. So whether you want to learn that or whether you don't, is going to determine whether you're going to be a victim or a survivor. As this world within the next, I'm not even going to say years, right? Within the next year, if you're not willing to factor in some form of spiritual authority, understanding, evolution into you, it's going to be so hard for you to maintain, because people out here and they dealing with authorities, spiritual authorities, spell work, magic, occult spells, rhythms, bloodline witches, blind witches. It's just so much spiritual awakening going on, and not all of it is good. So be aware of where you stand, where your intentions lie, what you rising towards. Okay. And like I said, it wouldn't hurt to learn. Even if you're a person of lightness, that's fine. But okay, but it's time for you to read up on the darkness because the darkness is reading up on you. You hear me? It's time for you to read the books that reflect dark energies, stabilize yourself in your light areas so that you can be aware of what attacks you and your understanding, whatever your understanding may be. You can be Muslim, you can be Christian, you can be Buddhist. Every aspect has a negative devil and a positive good God. Whatever your path may be, it's time to understand that you need to be aware of what lurks in the darkness of your path too, if you're going to be effective in this world that we live in now. Sure thing. You need to be able to look at somebody and say, oh, I understand the name of the spirit that person moving in. I understand. Because when you read, realize ain't no knowledge new. We read to remember, y'all. We don't read to learn. We ascending. You're reading to remember. That's why when you read from an ascended place, you allow yourself to be guided. You do a lot of quick studies because it's resonating from a deeper aspect outside of you. You're now connected to a higher power, right? A real higher power. So now you read, you get information, it comes in different because it's a knowing that connects with it. You dig me? Like, it's like you're reading something you already know. You just got to remind yourself of it. That's why the names of whatever your faith may be, when you read the names of the energies, you're going to go, okay, I understand that enemy. I know that enemy. I've been knew that enemy, right? Because too many of us, we can recite all the scriptures and we know every holy thing. We know every prayer. We know every, we know the sutras. We know everything. We know we can recite the juices. We do all that. But when we get afflicted by a dark energy, we don't know it because we never got solid enough to study that. But like I told you, what's attacking you studies you thoroughly on a daily, monitors you even. Yeah, some of us have spirits that move around and monitor us. I have some around me. They're going to be there. I like to use them as a way for me to keep myself in line. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real. Some of us have these, some of us have those. Period. Point blank. It's all about what you gonna do. If you from a bloodline of people and they deal with dark magic, those energies, they gonna follow you. But you're gonna be more powerful when you shine a light on them. They can't hold you because your will is your will. But they gonna monitor you. Just like if you come from a family full of angelic people, right? That ain't never take time to study what lurks in the dark. Quite possibly, you'll become a victim of the darkness that you're not aware of. Because there's no such thing as absolute light, absolute dark. No. Both aspects fit inside us all. So I'm going to grab one more card before I get out of here. Okay, what we got? We got two fellows, so I'm going to take them. Step back, communication. Oh, step back, communication, just the natural. I like this, right? So, step back, it's like you're being asked to step back from your life in order to gain perspective. So I feel like there's a need for you not to let go of anything or, shirk your responsibilities. But even in your everyday life, just step back and begin to, be more observant so you can gain a perspective. I do it a lot. I fall back for days at a time sometimes, y'all. It helps me sharpen my perspective. I get to see things like I was just talking. We started this off with scenarios of perception, right? Perspectives. Communication is the bridge that connects people. So I'm feeling like it could be a need for you to step back before you go forward with some type of communication as well. You could be a responder. I don't think there's nothing wrong with being a responder, but I feel like a person should seek for a balanced response at least, like, because sometimes we can respond too quick and just the natural. So I feel like you could even have a gift. The ups and downs in life are just a natural phenomenon. But with this just a natural, I feel like you could have a gift that you didn't even anticipate having or you didn't study for it. It's just on you. It's a bloodline thing. You're just able to do it. And the universe, the laws of the universe, it says somewhere that anything we don't use, we will lose it. So if you do have a gift, don't teeter-tot with it. Grow into the understanding of it. Don't take for granted that it's just always going to be there. Because at this time, we're going through a sifting process as well. Like ancestors will definitely strip you of what you're not using, you won't have no more, right? So I feel like if you're good at something spiritually, avoid arrogance, right? And even because you're a natural at something, like maybe you could be a reader. We do read for a lot of readers. You could be a reader, or you could be a person that's just real intuitive. You could have premonitions, see visions. You could be clairaudient, like, you could hear different things and put a puzzle together. Like you could hear, and from an observative standpoint, like you could hear one person give a story, then maybe a week later you could hear another person give a story, and your audience is connective. Like you can be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Like that's a gift. It's a rare gift. A clairaudience. The clairs, when they light up, they introduce rare gifts. So you're just a natural at it, but don't lose it. Hone it, nurture it. Know you're going to make mistakes. It's going to be ups and it's going to be downs. But if a gift was given to you, it belongs to you. So the best thing to do is learn how to operate in it. That was y'all message. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you could, please like, share, or subscribe. We are available for personal readings and or just chat sessions. Might just want to chat, step in, pull a few cards. You might be new. You might have something that you want to help us learn. We open for learning too. We would just welcome you in. So until next time, God bless you.